Hello everybody, welcome to this Train Sim World 4 news video. Today we are looking at the new route from Rivet Games. This one is the BERNINA Railway, or BERNINA Line is. It could well be titled as, following the Arosa Liney thing. This screenshot that you're looking at in the background was released earlier today. I haven't had time to make a video on it yet, but I am now, so I'm going to address everything that I think will happen. So first, how do we know? Well, someone on the forums very quickly identified this as the BERNINA Railway. As you can see, this was the section of cab ride the person found up here, and you know that pretty closely, like that's the same signal. It's the same fence, it's the same mountains, it's the same curve. And I took that and I went onto OpenStreetMap and from the original cab ride and painstakingly identified it as that dot, which you can't quite see. But whilst you're at it, this is more or less the route map from St. Moritz up here in Switzerland, all the way down through this squiggly-iggly, through all of these switchbacks, which I believe is where all the promotional photo shoots happened for the world's longest passenger train, which RHB recently had. I could be wrong on that though. And then the line extends a little bit further down into Italy. So it's another cross-border route. They did mention something about a cross-border route in the release stream. This could well be it. It's a great candidate and it does cross a border, unless Rivet pull a rivet and cut it short. So with that out of the way, we'll get straight into an overview of the route. So it's part of the RHB system, the s-bahn Railway in English. There's the same operator as the Arosa line, obviously, that we already have. It's in meter gauge, as the Arosa line is, but unlike the Arosa line, it is energized at 1000 volts DC. The Arosa line is 11 kilovolts AC or something. This line has a power changeover at St. Moritz. North of there towards Chur uses AC, south uses DC. So there's a bit of, different stock. Some of them are, most of them that operate here are dual mode. So it's St. Moritz in Switzerland to Tirano in Italy, over 61 kilometers of track with 22 stations. Obviously the stations aren't significant. Most of them are just like a little hut by the side of the track. It is even steeper than the Arosa line, which I didn't believe when I first read about it, with a maximum incline of 7% or 1 in 14, and reaches a maximum altitude of 2,253 meters, making it the highest adhesion railway in all of Europe, as it climbs over the BERNINA Pass, which you're looking at now. Obviously in winter this gets covered in snow and looks phenomenal. Timetable, so there is more or less all day, or like daylight hours, 1 train per hour per direction, 1 passenger train, and these take between 2 hours 15 minutes and 2 hours 35 minutes end to end. I'm not quite sure why the difference is. It could have something to do with waiting and passing loops for additional trains. There's the once daily BERNINA Express, which extends. It is basically a train from Chur to Tirano, on part of which follows the full BERNINA railway, obviously. And that uses its own coaching stock, but is pulled by regular trains. So that could be a feature, and we can get additional AI on the AC branch at, I think it's the Ebola line or something, and definitely not Ebola, but the Ebola line, I think, at St. Moritz going north towards Chur, and we've got freight services as well. A lot of freight is moved, just tacked onto the back of a regular passenger train. It'll be interesting to see how Rivet can manage to implement that. Rolling stock, so I've compiled sort of a list of possible stock where you can transfer. I mistakenly suggested using the GE4-4, which is the locomotive that we had for the Arosa line, on this, for extra stuff. And someone quite rightly pointed out that that is an AC only locomotive, and this is a DC line, so that's not possible. We could, however, get all of the unpowered stock, so the freight stock from the Arosa line, you know, the timber wagons could be reused, I think, quite easily. The passenger coaches, I don't think they really use... I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about this railway. I'll say that quite clearly. But I presume they could be worked in some regard under some different power scheme. The 4- or the 4x42, the 442 from Arosa line could potentially operate AI trains on the AC line north of St. Moritz. And then the sort of big candidate would be the Allegra EMUs, which, where have I put them? Have I put them in here at all? No. They're the new EMUs that RHB have taken delivery of. They were the ones that they set the world record longest train in. And that's the sort of thing where you stick extra passenger coaches and extra freight wagons on the back of these EMUs, which is a really funky situation to make longer trains. And those ones could be back-layered onto the Arosa line for extra stuff. And we could also see some other stuff happening in Kur, like we could see the Bernina, if we get the Bernina Express coaches, we could see them dotted around inside the main station at Kur as AI. And then I've stuck in the bottom there possible Bernina Express coaching stock, which normally operate stuck to the back of an Allegra from what I can see. And finally, my thoughts, or not quite finally, but more or less finally, my thoughts on the Bernina Railway. So obviously this is coming from Rivet, so we need to take everything with a fairly generous pinch of salt. They've only released one screenshot, so we don't have a full picture of what the route is going to be. This could be the best bit, and everything else is shit, or this could be the worst bit, and everything else is better. You just... And we hope for the best, but plan for the worst. It might not be the entire route. My gut feeling is that it will be, but you know, they're Rivet games. They could pull something stupid and cut it back. I think there's a high chance of having only the Allegra and other stock from Arosa line that already exists. I don't think we'll get anything else. Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get the Bernina Express, although perhaps they might sell that stuff later as a paid DLC. I have to say the terrain looked quite nice. If we come way back to the beginning, see the train there looks very good. It looks far better than it does on the Roast line. That would be the LiDAR coming into its own. The trees, on the other hand, we'll go run back up to the top. Trees look a bit meh. They look better, and they're not dotted all over a cliff face like they are on Vorarlberg, so there's obviously that, but they're still not fantastic. And, you know, perhaps a little bit more blending and shadow work and texture work there would be nice. And it'll be certainly very interesting to see how this develops. I would imagine there'll be an official announcement quite soon, now that everyone knows what it is, or anyone who cares knows what it is. Now the cat's well and truly out of the bag. I think, you know, they're pretty safe in assuming everyone knows, so they can come out with an official announcement and an official release date, perhaps, or they might just do the announcement, the reveal that it's what they've been working on, and have some more screenshots. I'll obviously make more videos as appropriate with regard to that. And my personal speculation on the release, this is speculation, it may not be true in its at all. What we do know is that it's in the 0 to 3 month window on the roadmap. So by that measure, on the October roadmap, so by that measure it could release anywhere up to the end of January. I think it'll release before Christmas. It feels something nice for them to push out slightly before Christmas, and obviously normal route price. Other than that, I have another video on Blackpool coming out tomorrow. Look out for that one. I'll see you then, I guess, and have a fantastic day. Goodbye.